I've been the Gloucester County Teacher of the Year this year, and I've had the opportunity to speak in a number of different places, but never with music in the background. So this is probably going to be my best speech ever. But seriously, good evening. It's an honor and a pleasure to talk to you as a Gloucester County Teacher of the Year. Now, sometimes in life, we talk about doing like a 360, right? Kind of like coming back to where you started from. Me, I've done a 720. And let me just elaborate on that a little bit. I'm sure you've heard this before. You make a living by what you get, right? The paycheck. And I need that. My wife will testify to that. She's here today. Can't pay for the house and the kids if you don't get a paycheck. But you make a life by what you give, right? And so, for me, that's what teaching's been about. So I was first Teacher of the Year in Paulsboro in 2004. That was sort of closer to the beginning of my career, right? I had hair, and it wasn't gray. And then, fast forward, I became an administrator in 2005. So that Teacher of the Year kind of catapulted me to administration. And then I was an administrator for 14 years. And then I went back into the classroom. And that was 2019, 2020. So if you remember anything about that, that was called COVID. So if you can imagine, that was kind of like a big shock. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, for the last 4 years, I've been a teacher, and I was given the honor again of Teacher of the Year at Paulsboro after being an educator for 27 years. And then I got elevated to County Teacher of the Year, right? Even more of an honor. And flash forward to right now, I'm acting superintendent in Paulsboro. So, if you're good at geometry, that's a 720, right? I came all the way around a couple times. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, during that trajectory, I've got a chance to enjoy and use my experience across the board. I've been an educator in Paulsboro, I live in Paulsboro, my kids go to Paulsboro, and I've just had an opportunity to be a part of the community. I even say, and I think I just said it last night, it's as close as I'll ever become to being famous. When a kid sees you at the store, they're like, Mommy, that's Dr. Pepper. No, Dr. Neff. Yeah, that's it. So, when I first became an administrator, one of the things that I did, I was Director of Community Outreach. I did that in Salem County, at the Salem County Vocational School. And one of my many jobs that I had was running the school in the Salem County Correctional Facility, prison. And during the year that I did that, 55 inmates earned their GED. Right, so this is my first administrative job. That is a record that I don't think has been surpassed since I've been there. While I was working in the Salem County Correctional Facility, I was also running an after-school program, 21st century after-school program in Salem City and Pennsgrove. So that was for middle school students. There was one time it became keenly aware to me that I had a male in the Salem County Correctional Facility in my school trying to earn their GED, and I had their child in the after-school program. Wow. Right? So it became really aware to me that education is and has the power to break the cycle of poverty. Education is the great equalizer. Education can break the cycle of incarceration. It is the answer to all of our problems. So when I look back at my life, everything that's good came from my education. Literally everything that's good, including my wife, both teachers, right? Literally everything in my life that is good came from education. The other thing I wanted to mention is that anytime you come to a podium or a microphone, you don't get here by yourself. Nobody does. So you got to look back. For me, it's been my faith and my family, right? But also the great teachers I've had in my life. So, just for a second, think back. Because I know everybody in this room can come up with at least one, probably more like 10, names of people that thought more of us than we did of ourselves. And that's really a definition of Teacher of the Year. Doing great things as a teacher is awesome, but making and helping other people see great things in themselves that maybe they didn't is the ultimate Teacher of the Year. You guys are leaders, and your job is extremely important. My doctorate is in leadership. It's come to me over the years that really leadership can be summed up in two things. Two things you have to do right. First, you have to pick the right thing to do. You're either going to vote yes on this or you're going to vote no on it. And that goes in life and when you're a board member. The next thing you do after you decide yes or no is how are you going to do it? So you got to decide the right things to do, and then you got to decide the right way to do them. Because you can pick the right thing to do and implement it the wrong way, and it's not going to have the effect that you want. If every time you have a decision to make like that, you think about the interface of teaching and learning, then your decision will be grounded. Will this improve teaching and learning? Or won't it? I'm going to kind of end talking about, once again, another influence in my life. And, when I got Teacher of the Year in 2004, unfortunately my grandma was, passing away. And the last word she said to me was, Teacher of the Year.
Wow.
And in the back of my mind, always, when I have to make a choice between right and wrong, I hear her and do the right thing. I want you to do the same thing. God bless you.